Many seniors quietly fear the moment when walking becomes difficult. It's not just about getting from one place to another. It's about independence, confidence, and the joy of doing the little things we love. Losing strength in the legs can feel like losing a part of your life. But here's the good news. Nature has been lending a helping hand for centuries, often in the form of humble herbs. Around the world, communities have turned to plants not just for flavor or fragrance, but for their ability to keep the body moving. From leaves that boost circulation to roots that soothe aching joints, these natural allies can offer gentle support for muscles, joints, and veins. While they won't work overnight, when used consistently, herbs can play a valuable role in keeping your legs strong and steady. Even past 70. Margaret's journey is a perfect example. She began with just one change: a daily cup of turmeric tea. At first, she noticed only a subtle difference. Her knees felt a little less stiff. In the mornings, encouraged, she added Ginkgo biloba to help with circulation. Over time, walking to the corner shop no longer felt like a chore, and she could once again kneel in her garden without worrying if she'd get back up. It's important to remember, though, that herbs aren't magic pills. They're most effective when combined with healthy habits like regular movement, balanced nutrition, and proper hydration. Think of them as gentle companions on your health journey, not replacements for medical care or a substitute for staying active. If you're curious about where to start, begin slowly. Choose one herb that matches your biggest concern, perhaps circulation, stiffness, or muscle weakness, and give it a few weeks to work. Keep a small notebook to jot down how you feel each day. Sometimes the progress is so gradual, you only notice it when you look back. Before adding any herb to your routine, talk to your doctor or pharmacist, especially if you take prescription medications. Some herbs can interact with blood thinners, heart medicine, or diabetes drugs. A quick conversation can prevent unwanted side effects and ensure you're using them safely. In the chapters ahead, we'll explore 8 remarkable herbs. Some will be familiar, like ginger or nettle, while others may be entirely new to you. Each one has its own story, its own science, and its own way of helping you keep your legs strong and dependable. And as we begin, remember this: you don't have to accept slowing down as an inevitable part of aging. With the right knowledge and small, consistent steps, you can give your legs the care they deserve and enjoy the freedom they bring. George was only 68, but lately, short. Walks to the corner store left his legs feeling unusually heavy. By the time he reached home, he'd need to sit down for several minutes before the sensation eased. "It's like my legs are made of lead," he told his wife. A friend suggested he try Ginkgo biloba, and although George had heard of it, he never realized it might help his legs feel lighter. Ginkgo biloba is one of the oldest living tree species on Earth, with a history of use in traditional medicine stretching back thousands of years. Its leaves contain unique compounds, flavonoids and terpenoids, that may help improve circulation. In simple terms, ginkgo can encourage blood vessels to widen slightly, allowing more oxygen-rich blood to flow to the muscles, especially in the legs. It may also reduce the tendency of blood to clot too quickly, keeping circulation smooth and steady. For people like George, poor circulation can lead to a condition called intermittent claudication, muscle pain, or cramping in the legs triggered by walking and relieved by rest. Several studies have found that Ginkgo biloba extract can improve walking distance and endurance in those with this issue, allowing them to go further before discomfort sets in. If you're considering ginkgo, there are a few practical ways to add it to your routine. Standardized extracts are the most studied form, often taken as capsules or tablets. A typical daily dose for circulation support is around 120 to 240 milligrams, divided into 2 or 3 doses. Ginkgo tea is another option, though it usually contains less of the active compounds than extracts. The key is consistency. Benefits may take 4 to 6 weeks to become noticeable. Safety is important, especially for seniors. Because ginkgo can thin the blood, it may increase the risk of bleeding, particularly if you're taking anticoagulant medications like warfarin, aspirin, or certain anti-inflammatory drugs. It's essential to talk to your doctor before starting, especially if you have upcoming surgery or a bleeding disorder. Ginkgo may also cause mild side effects such as headaches or digestive upset in some people, so starting with a lower dose and monitoring your body's response is a good idea. 4. George, incorporating ginkgo alongside his daily morning stretches made a difference. Within 2 months, he noticed he could walk to the park, twice the distance of his usual route, without the same heavy, dragging sensation. It's not like I'm sprinting, he laughed, but I feel like my legs want to keep going. Supporting. Circulation is a vital step towards strong, dependable legs, but it's only part of the picture. Even with better blood flow, some seniors still deal with the nagging stiffness and soreness that comes after activity. The good news? There's an herb that has been easing those aches for centuries, and it might already be sitting in your kitchen spice rack. That's where we're heading next to AT74. Lillian's mornings had a familiar rhythm, not because she enjoyed routine, but because it took nearly 20 minutes just to get her knees moving without that deep, nagging stiffness. She loved tending to her vegetable garden, but crouching and standing had become battles she dreaded. One afternoon, her daughter handed her a small jar of golden yellow powder and said, "Try adding this to your meals. It's helped me." The jar was turmeric, a spice Lillian had used occasionally in cooking, but never thought of as something that might change how her knees felt. Turmeric has been treasured for centuries in traditional medicine, especially in India and Southeast Asia, not just for its warm flavor, but for its healing properties. Its most active compound, curcumin, is what gives turmeric that vibrant color and its powerful anti-inflammatory effects. In simple terms, inflammation is your body's natural response to injury or irritation, but when it becomes chronic, it can damage tissues and cause pain. Curcumin helps by calming this overactive response, while also reducing oxidative stress, which can wear down joints and muscles over time. Scientific studies have shown promising results. For people with osteoarthritis, the most common form of arthritis in older adults, turmeric supplements have been linked to reduced pain, improved mobility, and in some cases, results comparable to mild over-the-counter pain relief, but without the same risk of stomach irritation. While it's not a cure, turmeric can be a gentle, ongoing support for joints that have carried you through decades of life. If you want to try turmeric, the key is absorption. Curcumin isn't easily absorbed into the bloodstream on its own, but pairing it with black pepper, which contains piperine, can increase absorption significantly. A simple way to start is by sprinkling half a teaspoon of turmeric powder into soups, stews, or scrambled eggs, along with a pinch of freshly ground black pepper. For those who prefer supplements, standardized curcumin capsules are available, with common daily doses ranging from 500 to 1,000 milligrams. It's often best to split this into 2 smaller doses taken with meals that contain some healthy fat. As curcumin is fat-soluble, safety matters, especially for seniors. Turmeric is generally safe in culinary amounts, but higher supplemental doses may interact with blood-thinning medications, gallbladder disease, or certain acid-reducing drugs. Always consult your doctor before starting a daily supplement, particularly if you're on medication or have chronic health conditions. For Lillian, adding turmeric to her morning smoothie, along with a sprinkle of black pepper, became an easy habit. Within a month, she noticed that her knees didn't resist her as much when she bent down to water her plants. "It's like my joints forgot to be angry all the time," she joked. Easing inflammation is one step towards stronger, more mobile legs. But what if there was a way to not only move with less pain, but also rebuild some of the strength you've lost over the years? That's exactly what our next herb sets out to do. AT70. Paul had learned to accept a slower pace. The steep hill, leading to his favorite overlook, had once been his regular morning challenge. But lately, halfway up, his legs felt shaky, and his breath came too quickly. One afternoon, a walking group friend told him about an herb she'd been taking for energy and stamina, ashwagandha. Paul was skeptical, but he decided to learn more. Ashwagandha, also called Withania somnifera, has been a cornerstone of Ayurvedic medicine for centuries. It's known as an adaptogen, a term for natural substances that help the body adapt to stress, whether that stress is physical, mental, or environmental. While much of its traditional use focused on calming the mind, modern research is uncovering another benefit. Ashwagandha may help improve muscle strength, endurance, and recovery, especially in older adults. Small studies have shown promising results. In one clinical trial, participants taking ashwagandha supplements for 8 weeks experienced noticeable improvements in grip strength, leg muscle size, and even endurance during walking or cycling tests. Scientists believe this effect may be linked to ashwagandha's ability to support healthy testosterone levels, reduce muscle-damaging inflammation, and improve oxygen use in the muscles. For seniors, this means the potential for moving with more power and confidence. That if you'd like to try ashwagandha, it's available in several forms. Capsules are the most convenient, with common dosages ranging from 300 to 600 milligrams of a standardized root extract per day. Powders, which can be mixed into warm milk, smoothies, or oatmeal, are a more traditional option. Many people find taking it in the morning or early afternoon works best for energy, though some prefer it in the evening for its calming properties. A practical starting approach is to begin with 300 milligrams daily and increase gradually, based on how your body responds. Consistency matters. Benefits typically appear after 4 to 8 weeks. And while ashwagandha is generally well tolerated, it's not for everyone. It may lower blood pressure, which could cause dizziness if you already take medication for hypertension. It can also affect thyroid hormone levels, so those with thyroid conditions should use caution. As always, talk to your doctor before adding a new supplement, especially if you have ongoing health issues or take prescription medications. For Paul, it wasn't an overnight transformation, but after 2 months, he noticed the difference. His legs didn't tremble as quickly on the hill, and he could carry his groceries up the front steps without stopping halfway. "It's like my muscles remember how to work for me again," he said with a grin. Strength is a powerful ally in staying active, but it's only part of the equation. As we age, even the strongest muscles can't protect us if our balance falters. That's where our next herb comes in, one that's been quietly helping people steady their steps for generations. Helen had always been steady on her feet, so when she tripped on the front step and twisted her ankle, she was more surprised than hurt. The swelling set in quickly, making it hard to walk without favoring her good leg. Weeks later, even though the pain had eased, her ankle still felt tender and slightly swollen by the end of the day. A friend from her yoga class suggested Gotu Kola, an herb she'd never heard of, saying it might help her heal and improve circulation in her legs. Gotu Kola, known scientifically as Centella asiatica, has been a staple in traditional medicine across Asia for centuries. In Ayurveda and Chinese medicine, it's often referred to as the herb of longevity, valued for its ability to support wound healing, skin repair, and mental clarity. When it comes to leg health, Gotu Kola's biggest claim to fame is its role in improving blood flow and strengthening the walls of veins and capillaries. Modern research has shown that Gotu Kola may benefit people with varicose veins or chronic venous insufficiency, a condition where blood has trouble moving from the legs back to the heart. Studies suggest that compounds in the plant, called triterpenoids, help reduce swelling, improve circulation, and increase the elasticity of blood vessels. For seniors, this means less pooling of blood in the legs, reduced heaviness, and potentially a lower risk of minor injuries turning into long-term issues. If you'd like to try Gotu Kola, there are a few ways to incorporate it. The most traditional is as a tea. Simply steep 1 to 2 teaspoons of dried Gotu Kola leaves in hot water for about 10 minutes. It has a mild, grassy flavor that pairs well with a bit of honey or lemon. Gotu Kola extracts are also available in capsule or liquid form, with common supplemental doses ranging from 300 to 500 milligrams per day, though it's best to follow the instructions on the product label. While Gotu Kola is generally considered safe for short-term use, it's not for everyone. There is some evidence that long-term or high-dose use may affect liver health, so those with liver disease or a history of liver issues should avoid it. It may also interact with certain medications, including sedatives and drugs that affect the liver. As with any herb, it's wise to check with your healthcare provider before starting, especially if you're already on medication or managing chronic conditions. For Helen, adding Gotu Kola tea to her afternoon routine became a comforting ritual. Within a few weeks, the swelling in her ankle was noticeably less pronounced, and she felt steadier on her feet during her evening walks. "It's not just my ankle," she said. "I feel more grounded, like my legs are holding me up the way they used to." Strong, steady legs are essential, but they also need a solid foundation. In our next chapter, we'll explore an herb rich in the minerals your bones and muscles rely on every single day. At a T75, James still felt most alive on a hiking trail. As a retired carpenter, his hands had built more than homes, they'd shaped memories. But lately, the steep inclines he once conquered with ease left his thighs trembling, and he worried that one day he might not make it to his favorite lookout. His granddaughter, a nutrition student, suggested he try something she called nature's multivitamin, nettle leaf. Nettle, or Urtica dioica, might not look like much at first glance. In fact, its stinging hairs can make it a plant most people avoid. But once carefully harvested and prepared, nettle is one of the most nutrient-dense herbs available. It's naturally rich in calcium, magnesium, and iron, three minerals essential for keeping both muscles and bones strong. Calcium provides the structural support for bones, but it's also vital for muscle contraction. Magnesium helps muscles relax after they contract, preventing cramps and stiffness. And iron ensures your muscles receive enough oxygen by supporting healthy red blood cell production. For seniors, keeping all three minerals in balance is crucial for mobility, endurance, and stability. Beyond its mineral content, nettle leaf also offers mild anti-inflammatory benefits, thanks to compounds like polyphenol and carotenoids. This means it may help ease joint stiffness after activity and support overall comfort, especially for those dealing with the normal wear and tear of aging. James was pleasantly surprised by how easy it was to add nettle to his diet. Fresh young. Nettle leaves can be cooked like spinach and added to soups or stews. The heat removes their sting. Nettle tea is another popular option. Simply steep 1 to 2 teaspoons of dried nettle leaf in hot water for about 10 minutes. For those who prefer convenience, nettle is available in capsule or powdered form, with common doses ranging from 300 to 500 milligrams daily. If you try fresh nettle, always wear gloves when handling it to avoid skin irritation. And while it's generally safe, nettle can act as a mild diuretic, increasing urine output. This can be a concern for those with kidney issues or anyone taking diuretic medication, as it may alter fluid and electrolyte balance. It can also interact with blood pressure and diabetes medications, so consulting your doctor before starting is important. For James, incorporating nettle soup into his weekly meals became a small pleasure. Within a month, he noticed his legs didn't fatigue as quickly on hikes, and the familiar ache in his knees after a long walk had softened. "It's like my body has a little more in the tank," he said, smiling as he tightened his hiking boots. The nettle's mineral-rich profile makes it a true friend to muscles and bones, but strength and stability also depend on another system, the heart. And there's an herb that bridges the gap, supporting both circulation and calm. That's exactly where we're headed next. Maria was 69 and loved spending her mornings in the park. But over the past year, she found herself stopping to rest. Halfway through her usual route, her legs felt heavy, almost as if they belonged to someone else. At first, she blamed aging, but a routine checkup revealed something unexpected. Her heart wasn't pumping as strongly as it used to. That reduced cardiac output meant less oxygen-rich blood was reaching her leg muscles, leaving them fatigued far sooner. Her doctor suggested a combination of gentle exercise, a heart-friendly diet, and a natural ally with centuries of history. Hawthorn. Hawthorn, known scientifically as Crataegus, is a flowering shrub native to Europe, Asia, and North America. For generations, it's been used to support cardiovascular health. Modern research suggests hawthorn can help improve cardiac output, the amount of blood the heart pumps each minute, by gently strengthening heart contractions and relaxing blood vessels. This improved efficiency means more oxygen and nutrients can reach the muscles in your legs, helping them perform better and recover faster. For Maria, understanding this link between her heart and legs was a revelation. By supporting her heart, she could indirectly boost her walking endurance and reduce the sensation of heaviness in her calves. Studies have also found that hawthorn may help lower blood pressure slightly, reduce symptoms of mild heart failure, and enhance overall circulation. All factors that directly benefit leg health. Hawthorn can be enjoyed in several forms. The berries, leaves, and flowers are all used medicinally. One simple way is hawthorn tea. Steep 1 to 2 teaspoons of dried berries or leaves in hot water for 10 to 15 minutes. For a more concentrated option, hawthorn tincture is available. Typically taken in small doses, about 1 to 2 milliliters, 2 to 3 times daily. Capsules or standardized extracts are also an option, with common doses ranging from 250 to 500 milligrams daily. Consistency is key, as hawthorn works gradually over weeks to months. It's important to note that while hawthorn is generally considered safe for most people, it can interact with certain heart medications, including beta blockers, digoxin, and nitrates. For seniors already on medication for heart conditions, a conversation with a healthcare provider before starting hawthorn is essential. Maria decided on a morning ritual, a warm cup of hawthorn tea after her breakfast. Within a couple of months, she noticed she could walk farther without needing to rest. Her legs didn't feel as leaden, and she felt a subtle lift in her overall energy. "It's not just my legs that feel lighter," she told her walking group. "It's like my whole body has more life in it." Improving circulation from the heart is a powerful step toward healthy legs. But there's another common challenge that many seniors face: sudden, painful cramps that can strike without warning. Our next herb has been trusted for centuries to keep those muscle spasms at bay, and it might just become your everyday kitchen companion. Bill was 73 and had a habit of starting his mornings with a slow stretch before shuffling into the kitchen to make tea. But over the last few years, those quiet mornings were sometimes interrupted by sharp calf cramps, the kind that make you freeze mid-step. A neighbor suggested adding a few slices of fresh ginger to his morning tea. Bill thought it sounded too simple to matter, but within weeks, he noticed something surprising. The cramps became less frequent, and his legs felt more at ease during his daily walks. Ginger, or Zingiber officinale, is far more than a zesty spice. For centuries, it's been valued in both cooking and traditional medicine for its warming, stimulating properties. When it comes to leg health, ginger's benefits are threefold. First, it helps improve circulation by gently widening blood vessels, allowing more oxygen and nutrients to reach your muscles. Second, its natural anti-inflammatory compounds, particularly gingerols, can help reduce muscle soreness and stiffness. Third, ginger has mild muscle relaxant effects, which can be especially helpful in preventing or easing cramps. There's also a bonus. Ginger supports digestive health by stimulating stomach activity and easing bloating or nausea. For seniors, better digestion means better nutrient absorption, and that helps fuel muscle recovery and energy throughout the day. Adding ginger to your daily routine can be as easy as Bill's approach. Slice 3 or 4 thin pieces of fresh ginger root and steep them in hot water for 10 minutes to make a soothing tea. If you prefer something more robust, try grating a teaspoon of fresh ginger into stir-fries, soups, or even oatmeal. 4. A sweet treat. Blend ginger with honey and lemon for a warming tonic that's perfect in cooler months. Ginger supplements are also available in capsules or powders, but it's generally best to start with fresh or dried ginger in your diet before moving to concentrated forms. A typical safe daily amount is about 2 to 4 grams of fresh ginger or 1 gram of dried. However, as gentle as ginger may seem, it's not suitable for everyone. It can act as a mild blood thinner, so those on anticoagulant medications, like warfarin or aspirin, should check with their doctor before increasing their intake. Ginger can also stimulate bile production, which may cause discomfort for people with gallstones. For Bill, the change was more than just fewer cramps. His morning walk to the park felt smoother, and the occasional stiffness that once slowed him down seemed to fade. "It's like my legs have a little more spring," he said, swirling the golden tea in his cup. Ginger is an everyday kitchen hero, but the next herb we'll explore is a bit more unusual. It's not as common in Western kitchens, yet it's been relied upon in Europe for centuries to ease swelling, strengthen veins, and keep legs feeling light. And for many seniors, it can make all the difference in daily comfort. Every summer, Edith dreaded the heat. At 72, the warmer months meant not just higher temperatures, but also swollen calves and ankles that made her legs feel heavy and uncomfortable. She'd tried elevating her feet, wearing compression stockings, and drinking more water, all of which helped a little, but the swelling always seemed to return. Then, during a trip to visit her sister in Germany, she was introduced to a herbal remedy that's been a part of European medicine cabinets for generations: horse chestnut. Horse chestnut, Aesculus hippocastanum, contains a powerful compound called essin. Essin works by strengthening the walls of veins and capillaries, making them less likely to leak fluid into surrounding tissues. This matters because swelling in the legs often happens when weak or damaged blood vessels allow fluid to escape, causing puffiness, discomfort, and that familiar heavy leg feeling. By helping the veins hold their shape and function properly, horse chestnut can reduce both swelling and the itchiness that comes with it. Modern research supports these traditional uses. Clinical studies have found that standardized horse chestnut seed extract can significantly decrease leg volume, improve circulation, and ease symptoms of chronic venous insufficiency, a condition where blood struggles to return from the legs to the heart. For people like Edith, this can mean not only less swelling, but also a renewed sense of mobility and confidence in walking longer distances. Horse chestnut is available in several forms. Creams and gels can be applied directly to the legs, often offering a cooling sensation along with targeted relief. Oral supplements, usually in capsule form, provide a more systemic benefit. The most studied dosage is around 300 milligrams of standardized extract containing 50 milligrams of essence, taken twice daily. Benefits are often noticeable within a few weeks, though continued use is recommended during warmer months or periods of prolonged standing. That it's important to note, however, that raw horse chestnut seeds, bark, and flowers are toxic if ingested. They contain a compound called esculin, which can cause severe side effects. Only use commercially prepared extracts and products that have been processed to remove harmful components. For safety, avoid horse chestnut if you have kidney or liver disease, are pregnant or breastfeeding, or are taking blood thinners or medications that affect blood sugar, as it may interact with these. For Edith, adding horse chestnut gel in the mornings and taking an oral supplement after breakfast became part of her summer routine. Within 3 weeks, she noticed that her sandals fit more comfortably at the end of the day, and the heaviness in her calves was much less pronounced. "I feel like I've got my summer legs back," she said, smiling as she planned her next trip to the park. With horse chestnut, we've reached the last of our 8 herbs. Each one offers a unique way to support your legs, whether by boosting circulation, easing inflammation, building strength, or reducing swelling. Now, it's time to bring them all together into a simple, safe, and sustainable plan you can follow every day. After exploring 8 powerful herbs, it's important to remember one simple truth. No single herb is a magic cure. Each works best as part of a broader routine, supporting your legs alongside healthy movement, balanced nutrition, and consistent care. Herbs can't replace good habits, but they can make those habits more effective, helping you move with greater comfort, strength, and confidence. That to make things practical, let's look at 3 sample routines you can adapt to your lifestyle. These are not rigid rules, but gentle guides to help you use herbs in a way that fits your day. Morning routine. Start your day with warmth and circulation support. A cup of ginger tea with breakfast can gently stimulate blood flow and wake up your muscles. If swelling is a concern, you might also apply horse chestnut gel to your calves before heading out. Those focusing on energy and endurance could take an ashwagandha capsule with food to help support strength throughout the day. Afternoon routine. This is a good time to nurture balance and reduce inflammation. A light lunch followed by a turmeric tea or golden milk, made with turmeric, black pepper, and warm milk, or a dairy alternative, can help calm joint stiffness. If you're managing circulation issues, this is also a good time for a dose of Ginkgo biloba, ideally paired with a short walk to keep blood moving through your legs. Evening routine. Wind down with herbs that restore and replenish. A warm cup of nettle tea after dinner can provide a gentle dose of calcium, magnesium, and iron for your muscles and bones. If you've been on your feet a lot, gotu kola tea can help soothe swelling and support vein health. Evenings are also the perfect time for light stretching. Think gentle calf raises, ankle rolls, and hamstring stretches to keep your muscles supple. As you incorporate these herbs, remember a few key guidelines. First, rotate herbs every few weeks to give your body variety and reduce the chance of over-relying on one. Second, always check with your doctor before adding herbs, especially if you take prescription medications or manage chronic conditions. Some herbs can interact with blood thinners, heart medicines, or diabetes drugs. Third, start slowly. Introduce one herb at a time so you can see how your body responds. And finally, stay hydrated. Proper hydration works hand in hand with herbs to keep circulation healthy and muscles functioning well. Over the past months, I've heard countless stories from seniors who found renewed independence with this approach. A widower in his late 70s began walking to the market again after adding hawthorn and daily stretches. A retired teacher reduced her summer swelling with horse chestnut and light evening walks. A grandmother found she could dance at her granddaughter's wedding without aching knees, thanks to turmeric and regular balance exercises. Asterisk.